Welcome to our channel. Today, we will discuss a tense hypothetical scenario when Iran challenges the US Navy, a major mistake that leads to Operation Epic Fury. This operation was launched on February 28, 2026, involving combined US and Israeli forces to cripple Iran's military infrastructure in just one day. The operation began at 7:10 local time with the launch of Tomahawk cruise missiles from U.S. destroyers, such as the USS Bruins in the Gulf of Oman. 8 missiles were launched within 90 seconds, flying low over the water at 550 miles per hour, targeting IRGC naval bases on Iran's southern coast. Before the main attack, low-cost Lucas drones re-engineered from Iran's Shahed 136 at just $35,000 per unit infiltrated Iranian airspace from Iraq. These drones flew slowly at 110 knots, acting as decoys to draw out Iran's air defense systems like the Bavar 373. These drones forced Iran to expend expensive interceptors costing over $1 million each, draining their ammunition. Meanwhile, passive sensors on F-35 jets detected the positions of defense batteries, employing a cost exchange tactic that favored the U.S. side. At 8:05, 12 Israeli F-15 IRAM jets crossed the border from Iraq, launching Rampage missiles with 2,500-pound warheads. These missiles followed a ballistic arc toward Tehran, minimizing warning time with supersonic speed. The strikes reached Tehran at 8:10, where Israeli F-35 Adir jets used sensor fusion combining radar, infrared, Link 16 data, and satellite imagery for high precision. They dropped small-diameter GBU-39 bombs, gliding up to 40 nautical miles with single-foot accuracy. Key targets included the Supreme Leader's office on Pasteur Street, which was completely destroyed with columns of black smoke. The strikes also hit the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Intelligence, and Atomic Energy Organization, obliterating irreplaceable nuclear bureaucracy elements. At 8:12, Tomahawk missiles struck Bandar Abbas, the IRGC's Al-Alua base, destroying command buildings and fuel storage. An F-15E jet from Jordan dropped a GBU-31 Jdam bomb through a bunker roof, collapsing a Pekin-class fast attack ship. Carrier-based operations from the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Gulf involved FA-180 Super Hornet jets launched by catapult, reaching 165 miles per hour in 3 seconds. They attacked Chabahar's deep water port and submarine docks with JDAM and GBU-39 bombs. The strikes targeted fuel storage, dry docks, and anti-ship missile batteries like Charlie 802, preventing IRGC submarines from mining the Strait of Hormuz. Follow-up attacks also hit Asalaya and Bandar Abbas, headquarters of Kilo-class submarines. 3 hours after the start, intense electronic warfare took place. An EA-18G Growler detected an Iranian-made SA-65 radar in the Kermanshah Mountains, built as a replacement for the S-300 destroyed in 2024. The radar switched to fire mode, enabling jamming via ALQ-249 and the launch of AGM-88 missiles at Mach 3. These missiles destroyed the radar in 90 seconds before it could fire. Deep strikes were conducted by 12 F-2 Raptors from Virginia entering Iranian airspace. Using Envoy PG-77 radar and Envoy LR-9 for suite, they passively cataloged radar emissions with a signal size as small as a marble. These jets located SAM batteries, command posts, and communications without firing, relaying data via Link 16 for follow-up strikes. The operation's peak in the Kermanshah, Loristan, and Quzan Mountains involved 30 Israeli F-15 IRAM jets dropping Spice Raphael glide bombs and Delilah cruise missiles against mobile ballistic missile launchers like Shahab 3 TEALs. Drones detected launchers during erection, and Spice bombs exploded at the rail chassis joints, damaging fuel and causing massive blasts. Not all were destroyed, but the strikes limited launches toward Israeli cities. The final wave involved 30 Israeli F-35I jets striking Isfahan, Bushehr, and Arak with 60 munitions against missile depots, drone regiments, and Shahed 136 production lines, storing 950 drones. U.S. strikes hit underground bunkers, relays, and fiber optic nodes, reducing Iran's internet capacity to 4%. A hacked prayer app sent messages saying help has arrived to users. The operation severed Iran's command, naval capabilities, air defenses, missiles, and drones, opening the Strait of Hormuz and preventing retaliation. Core theory: Iran's challenge to the U.S. Navy led to overwhelming technological superiority. Tactics emphasize speed, deception via decoy drones, and sensor integration. Cost asymmetry favored the U.S., with cheap drones countering expensive interceptors, while electronic warfare and precision munitions neutralized defenses without ground involvement. The focus remained on tactics and technology, such as the F-35 sensor fusion acting like real-time GPS, transforming air defense doctrines. This narrative depicts the strike as a one-day blitz that rewrote the history of conflict, showcasing combined U.S.-Israeli power. No political elements are discussed. Everything is purely about tactical execution and technological dominance. Visual reconstructions include missile launch animations, flight simulations, and infrared impact footage, making the explanation more vivid. The narrative uses vivid metaphors like screaming toward Iran or fist closing on ships, adding dramatization. Technical explanations are inserted seamlessly, such as descriptions of the Tomahawk's turbojet engine enabling low-level flight, helping viewers understand why the strikes were so effective without disrupting the story flow. This hypothetical scenario could be expanded with variations, such as if Iran involved allies like Russia, but the focus remains on the core operation for clarity. Post-operation implications. With military infrastructure crippled, Iran faces a power vacuum, enabling internal regime change without ground invasion. Strategic lessons. This operation demonstrates the importance of air and electronic superiority in modern conflict, where speed defeats numbers. Hypothetical international response. Countries like China and Russia condemn the attack, but the U.S. and Israel justify it as a response to provocations in the Strait of Hormuz. Economic impact. The destruction of Iranian ports causes a surge in global oil prices, but the opening of the Strait of Hormuz stabilizes the market within days. Future technology. This operation showcases the potential of AI in sensor fusion, where algorithms predict enemy movements in real time. Historical comparison. Similar to Operation Desert Storm, but faster and more precise, thanks to advances in drones and smart missiles. Operational risks. Although successful, there is potential for escalation if Iranian missiles break through and strike U.S. bases in the Gulf. Israel's role. Israeli air power focuses on deep targets, leveraging experience from previous strikes on nuclear facilities. U.S. role. The U.S. Navy dominates the initial phase, with aircraft carriers serving as the central hub for jet and missile launches. Combined integration. U.S.-Israel collaboration via Link 16 ensures real-time data sharing, enhancing strike efficiency. Humanitarian aspects. The operation is designed to minimize civilian casualties, focusing on military targets far from populated areas. Post-conflict reconstruction. Iran may rebuild, but the loss of infrastructure will delay their military programs by years. Impact on Houthis and proxies. With Iran crippled, proxy groups like the Houthis lose support, reducing threats in the Red Sea. Evolution of drone warfare. The Lucas drone demonstrates how low-cost technology can defeat expensive defenses, changing the paradigm of war. Hypothetical expert opinions. Military analysts praise the drone decoy tactics as a brilliant innovation in asymmetric warfare. Connection to the Ukraine conflict. Similar technologies were used in Ukraine, showing knowledge transfer from real conflicts. Military ethics. This operation sparks debate on preventive strikes versus aggression, but it is justified as defense. Final visualization. Recap of the operation with a full timeline, emphasizing success in one day. Influence on regional peace. Crippling Iran could pave the way for peaceful negotiations in the Middle East. Global military trends. This operation inspires other countries to invest in precision and electronic technology. Hypothetical conclusion. Challenging a superior power like the U.S. can be fatal, a lesson for regional actors. Call to action. Share your opinion in the comments whether the scenario is realistic or not. Thank you for watching this continuation. Stay tuned for more hypothetical military scenarios.